Everybody knows I'm Myers Jackson. Everybody call me friend.
Hey, good day everybody, it's Myers Jackson, America's Auctioneer, and I am going to talk to you about a couple things today. And the first thing is why I say the things I do when I'm making my opening on Texas Flip and Move when I'm selling the houses. The second thing is, why do I have this big, gigantic gavel? So let's take first things first. You know, when I make my introduction, there is a couple things that auctioneers always say in order to, number one, alert the crowd that you're making a disclaimer. We make the introduction and the disclaimer comes in and we talk about what could or could not be wrong with the property or the properties or assets that we're selling. So we make a disclaimer. So I was out there my first day, we were shooting the sizzle, and I was thinking, what do I say? So I asked the producer, I said, Greg, what do you want me to say? I figured they'd have cue cards and all this other kind of stuff, and we'd all be set up, and somebody, you know how they do, they just telling you what to say. Well, there was absolutely no script whatsoever. Zero script. So this is what happened. I asked the producer, what should I do? He says, what do you normally do? I say, well, we have an auction, I make an introduction, we read terms and conditions, and we have an auction. He says, hey, do that. And I'm like, all right. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm like, wait a minute. These terms and conditions are like 20 minutes long. They are boring. They've got all these words in here, and I said, if I say that, I am never, ever going to get on TV. So I had to make an executive decision right there to move. So we're out there at the auction, and there's a crowd of people, and they're doing what they do. They're in real tune. They're listening to what I'm saying, and I've got their attention. So I started the bids, 35,000, 35, 35 and a 40, I'm going to bid about 40, 45,000. Hey, 45, 45, 45, what about $50,000? You can do it right here. Who's going to give me $50,000 money? And nobody done anything, and it just come to a dead standstill. And I looked down there, and there was this little boy standing there, and I said, hey, you know what? I said, little man, even you can bid at today's auction. It's that cheap. Just put your hand in the air. And he said, boom. And his mom and dad went, whoa, Lord. And they started making all this scene. And you know what? Everybody went to laughing. The camera said zoom, zoom, zoom. And then when I got finished, the producer walked up to me and he says, can you do that 26 more times? And I said, absolutely, I can do it. So at the end of that, I didn't know what was going to happen, but when we started filming on Texas Flip and Move, I come up with a new disclaimer every time. Sometimes I may be riding down the road, and I remember that the second one I ever said was, if you go in there and you find a buffalo tied to the toilet. I had seen a buffalo somewhere, and I knew that on the inside of that house there was some wore out toilet or something, but once again it was to grab the attention of someone to say, you know what, you need to prepare to bid on this house as it sets. And if you go in there and find this, it is. And of course I come up with the gorilla in the gutters, and I come up, you know, with the foxhound in the closet. I come up with 165 different sayings. And I'm going to say this, people across the country was sending me in ideas, and you know what? I would bounce off of those ideas and I would come up with my disclaimer in when we were selling the house. It had to be short, it had to be quick, it had to be thoughtful, but it had to make a statement to say, if you're going to buy this house, you need to look at it, you need to inspect it. And this is with anything that we do nowadays. If you're going to buy something at auction, you need to look at it, you need to inspect it, you need to expect the unexpected. And you need to understand, if you buy this piece of 100-acre property and you go out there, I don't know, a year from now, 10 years from now, and you dig up an Army tank, well, guess what? You got an Army tank. Sometimes I give them the old Texas guarantee. And what is the Texas guarantee? If you come in here and you buy this item, let's just say it's a TV. You buy this TV and you go outside and you break it and it drops in the parking lot and it breaks in two pieces, well, I guarantee you, you might have two pieces in a TV. So there you go. That's the reason why auctioneers give disclaimers. They come in many forms, many different aspects of what they're selling, but you need to pay attention to it. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about, why do I have such a big gavel? And the only thing I can think of right now, because we're in Texas, baby, you just say no, and I say sold, sold, sold. Everybody have a good day.